Do we have any first-timers in the audience? First-timers? One. Oh, ooh, good, good, excellent. Thank you for coming. Welcome. I'll give you a short description of what 1 Million Cups is. It is basically an interactive dialogue with other entrepreneurs in the community. And what we're going to do is introduce two companies. We'll give them about 6 minutes to talk and introduce themselves. And then we'll do 20 minutes of, and I don't like to call it Q&A because it's more of a discussion. So if you have an idea, just shout it out. If you have a question, go ahead and ask it. If you have constructive ideas that you want to share with everybody, go ahead and share them. If you want to talk with them afterward or send them an email, we've got their contact information up here. So go ahead and get in touch with them, but feel free to dialogue and discuss their entrepreneurial journey with them. We've got two companies today. Is it Nicole Taylor, House Nanny, as well as Into Dance with Connie. And to introduce them right now, I'd like to pass it off to TJ.
So come on up here, Nicole. I'm really excited for Nicole to present. She's got a couple of things she's active in and has a real passion for those things. And yeah, Working Women of Central New Mexico and House Nanny. And with no further ado, I'd love you to talk to us about that, and then we'll engage in some great ideas.
Fantastic. Thank you guys for having me today. My name is Nicole Taylor. I'm here to talk to you about problems, process, and solutions. First off, I am a CEO of my own company called House Nanny, where I specialize in organizing residential properties, and I do professional house sitting and pet care assistance when you're on vacation or when you need someone to come and take care of your pets in your home or just your plants. I also started, I'm the founder and the facilitator of a group called Working Women of Central New Mexico. In both my business and networking group, I like to use 3 core strategies to help me identify in solving problems. And these 3 core strategies are vision, purpose, and outcome. And if we can show the, images. Here's the first image of, I've been organizing for a couple of years now, and this is one of many of my projects that I've had to tackle, which this is a lot of women can relate to, even men at some point, can identify how many shoes can fit into, can I have the next slide, please, in this closet. As you can tell, this is kind of like a skewed little picture, but as you can see, there's really just not a whole lot of room. Can we go back to the next one so that people can just kind of identify what's going on here? So as I'm using my strategy process, I like to do what I call a visualization. And I go into the space without touching anything and have to identify what I have to work with, what space I have, how many shoes I have to work with. So I had to pull out all these shoes and then organize them based on, colors. You can see closed-toed, open-toed. There's many things going on. And then, as the process to find the purpose, I then get with my client, and then I have to ask her, so, are these all serving a purpose? Do you wear all these shoes? And then most women, of course, are like, yes, of course, even though, one pair of shoes has like a foot of dust on it. They haven't used these pair of shoes in a very long time. And then, so then I have to encourage. I do never force the process of purging. However, I do encourage it, and I do hope that they will gain some insight into realizing the little space and the amount of shoes that they actually have. Then, through that process, I was then able, out of these about 350 pairs of shoes, and then there's actually boxes still in the closet that I had not taken out at this point, was able to have her purge 30 pairs out of 350, which was a little dent, exactly, 10%, well, we'll work with that. We could try to make that work. So the outcome was, my outcome and pursuit and goal in this was to create a space that was useful and able to provide for the client to find the shoes that she was looking for that day, to make it simple. A lot of business women, as we all know, have to get up, get ready, throw on a pair of shoes and an outfit and hit the door. So there's not a whole lot of time. So that was the outcome. And she was actually pretty happy, which is, my job is done. So I want to correlate that with, if we go back to the, sorry, going back and forth. I want to correlate this to my Working Women in Central New Mexico group that I founded. The goal behind it was to try to find, as we go to the vision, purpose, and outcome, as I identified earlier, how I would try to visualize, provide an educational platform for women. And it's not just a networking, let's get together and pass out business cards and tell each other what we do. I wanted to go further than that. I wanted to provide an educational platform that would give every woman in the group very beneficial resources that they can utilize in their own businesses. So given the many types of shoes, I wanted to correlate that with the many women who have a variation of things that they do. How do I do that? How do I find these educational resources to provide for every single woman who have very different needs and have a lot of different things going on? But then I found similarities. I found that a lot of these women had a lot of similar needs. And so through that visionary process, I then tried to find, okay, what was the main purpose? I wanted to help develop strategies and ways to solve the most difficult problems in each individual profession. And how did I do that? So I started off with trying to find experts, people who really knew how to do and what to do in certain various business topics. For example, I would try to find a CPA. That's the biggest maze in business development. How do you pay your taxes? How do you, how do you deal with that? It's just very complex. So I wanted to find a CPA to come and talk with us about the ins and outs of business, finance, and taxation. And I just decided, okay, this is ringing a bell. Let's continue doing this. So I had other various topics, guest speakers come and talk with us about things. I found it very beneficial. The outcome, as of September of last year, we have 75 members. And let me give you a little background story. I started on meetup.com. Meetup is a very good foundational way to start a network, start a group, because A, it's easy to find, and people are more apt to go to a meetup if it's consistent. And I've been trying my hardest to be very consistent at providing same time, same place type of meetups so that it's easy to find and they know what to expect. So I guess my problem for you today is the ratio of members per meetup and also in my business and in my clientele. Of course, we all want more business as entrepreneurs and professionals. We all want to, okay, what is the number one thing that we can all do to reach that platform of success? So I guess that's my follow-up question to you is how can I build the attendance in Working Women in Central New Mexico? And since we have a platform and we know kind of where we're going and what we're doing, how do we get people involved? Who wants to be a part of it? And will people find it as valuable as I think it is? So that's kind of my question to you. I want to do a shout out to Fat Pipe and thank you guys for providing this space, and also to 1 Million Cups for giving me the opportunity to present. And also, I look forward to any thoughts and advice and what have you to give to me. I appreciate it. Thanks.
20 minutes now, roughly, to pour into Nicole, to help Nicole.
Can we get this on recording? Oh, yeah, there we go. Because I'm going to...
Smile.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. I didn't even notice. Sorry.
Who
Okay.
wants to go first?
So a couple questions on Meetup. You know, I've been part of running a couple different meetups. You do it on a regular basis. Do you have a regular venue? And can you tell us a little bit about, you know, what your participation is so far?
Okay, so yeah, we usually meet. I have a member who's been involved pretty much from the beginning of this year, and she manages a business or business building, and she's allowed us to utilize a space that we meet on a regular basis. Usually when we have guest speakers come, it's a nice conference room, like a conference table where you come and there's plenty of space, and we usually try to provide snacks and, you know, what have you to kind of have to munch on while we're meeting and stuff. And so, yeah, I'm trying to think. The day, I'm sorry? The day of the week, we usually meet on Tuesday evenings, every other week to every 3 weeks. And it just depends on, you know, like say holiday. You know, it's been the holiday over the past weekend, and then we're going to go into a new holiday. So this month, we're only going to probably have one meeting and one or two. Then we also I try to like bring fun into it and kind of do something off the wall, like let's meet for brunch on Sunday, you know, or something kind of that is more relaxed and not, you know, not just meeting businessy type. So.
I think the other part of Eric's question, how many?
Yeah.
What are the numbers like?
Oh, and the ratio. Okay, so ratio is fairly small. It just depends on the. I was thinking the meetings that I had for guest speakers would be a hit because, you know, well, it's like, whoa, learn about this, you know? And then, yeah, it hasn't been as awesome. I mean, it really hasn't. Like, I wish it would. I mean, in my eyes, I'm like, I want to know about how to do my own taxes, you know? Like, I want to know how to network. I want to know how to utilize social media to market myself online. Like, these are, like, ideal and necessary information I need and I want to build my business, thinking that would strike a chord with other people. But, you know, it's just hit or miss, man. It's like, it varies. Like, sometimes we'll have 2 people, sometimes we'll have 7, sometimes we'll have 14. I don't think we've exceeded like 15 people in one meetup. So, and that's usually a social one. Like brunch, you know. So, any other questions or?
See if it's a brunch that works out. Maybe change your time from Tuesdays to brunches.
Oh, changing the time, fantastic. Yes, ma'am.
Why do you think it's important for women to meet up, to network?
Oh, I'm not trying to exclude men, and that is a fantastic question because I'm not sexist at all. I really love the variety of how men and women interact in the business field and in the work field. However, I was just identifying with being a woman in the business world and wanting to, that was my platform. And not to exclude men by any means, like maybe we should make it more of a large, you know, a way to interact and provide these educational resources to anyone. And that's a fantastic question and something that, you know, I've also kind of pondered on and thought about, you know, over this past year. But I just kind of like, I think what struck a chord to me is women, I don't know, I have a soft spot for hardworking women. And women who are like, I came from a background of being encouraged to be a stay-at-home mom, and, you know, I'm not disregarding that because, you know, there's fantastic stay-at-home moms and they are doing probably one of the hardest works out there. However, I really identified with hardworking women who wanted to make a difference in whatever they're trying to do in the lives and the people that came across to them, and that's kind of where it came from. I do, but I don't use it.
You should use it because Ben professionals and helpreneurs get a lot of traction on their Facebook pages.
Facebook pages? Okay, yeah, that's just, you know, when I started this, it was kind of like with the social media thing and how I had to like find someone. I'm like, okay, so how do you tackle, like, for my business, and also now that I'm a founder facilitator of this group, not only do I have my own professional business page that I try to utilize and use, but not only that, I am now in charge of this group. So it's like I'm multitasking, and it's, it's hard. I mean, sometimes I'm like, maybe I should hire someone, but like trying to get help and provide someone just like, here, do you want to work 4 hours a week? Here, could you maintain my websites? And if you guys know of anyone, fantastic. We should talk afterwards. Yes, ma'am.
I would say also just to the point of having it be a women's group, I think that there's some power in kind of owning that and like really emphasizing that as being an important strength of the group. And if I heard about a group like this, which I'm just now hearing and I'm like interested in joining, but
Fantastic.
But I think like there's a lot of power in like owning the idea that it is for like empowering women in business and kind of like when you're talking to other people about that, really emphasize that as a strength of the group rather than being like, I've thought about adding men. Like if you are, then that's kind of a completely different like idea, and I think that's a good idea too. But this is something that I think needs to be really emphasized about here.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm wondering if you're trying to make money with working women, and do you charge people?
Well, that's a great question. Very great question. Well, we have not had any member annual fees or anything associated with this. This has just been simply free, and it's gotten to the point where I would like to give contributions to guest speakers. I mean, I would like to, it's coming out of my pocket. And it's kind of been my baby from the get-go, so I've been trying to, cater it and nurse it. So yeah, it has been free up to this point, and there's a couple members who now they're like my backbone in this. They're such huge supporters, and some of them are here. Hi, ladies. Fantastic women. That's one thing. I will get back to that. That's one thing that I love about this group. It has brought amazing women together and formed awesome vision for each other's goals and ideas. But anyway, to go back to your question, starting this coming year, we were thinking about adding an annual fee and just kind of making it more prominent. When you're paying for something, you're more likely to show up. You're more likely like, okay, I'm investing in this also. I'm going to go ahead and utilize it. So, and that's kind of my thought process, not to take people's money. Of course, it's going to be like a nonprofit where the money goes back into the group. Like in one case, I would like to see, if we have a bank account for the group and say we're going to hold a conference that can potentially hold 200 to 300 people, where's that money going to come from to provide that space? It would be coming from the members. So,
Let me follow up with a bigger question. I'm the vision guy, but
sure.
You've got House Nanny, you've got Working Women of Central New Mexico.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years from now, what is Nicole doing? I mean, what's your big vision? Is it for both? Is it for one?
That's a great question because I being a business owner, I live in the moment quite a lot, especially when it comes to my clients personally. When I'm dealing with the client on hand, I don't have a brain to be like, okay, what's next? I'm usually like dive in head first into my projects. And like the shoes, and being an organizer, you have to be mentally prepared. It's a mental process. It's not just let's organize your closet. No, I have to, like I said earlier, a visionary process. I have to go in and actually figure out what the heck I'm dealing with before I even go, before I even start the process of organizing. But no, that's a great question. I really love my line of work. I would love to potentially be one of the mainstream organizers of Albuquerque. That would be an ideal thing for me. I would love to have a group of organizers under my belt who I can train and I can send out to houses and to provide for the community in that way. That would be, I would say, my top goal, and just be the brains behind the machine, if you will. Yes, ma'am. Oh, fantastic.
There's only about 8 members, and I'm trying to keep it really small. And it's very intimate. We all know each other's businesses very well.
Cool.
And we talk more about things that, like how do you do this on Twitter? It's really nuts and bolts of like sharing, or I think I'm charging too, little for this,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. So it's, I'm not trying to promote it per se, but it's something that I just want to share it because I feel like what the value in it is more, it's not really networking, but it's more like sharing some pretty intimate details about your business, and it's a really safe place
Mm-hmm.
where you feel like you can share that. It's not too big,
Yeah.
and you know the people really well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like we do share resources, there's this West is out there, there's this organization. A lot of them didn't know about that type.
Mm-hmm.
So we just talked about that the last meeting. So that's one thing. And then I also wanted to say that how are you promoting it? We were talking at the last meeting about how we all have registered, we have city business license.
Mm-hmm.
How are you getting the word out there to women business owners? How are you finding? Because it should be pretty easy to find and locate them and let them know you exist.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great question. I've been using Meetup.com. It's where it originated, where I started it. And Meetup is really, I think we tapped on this earlier. Meetup is a really good resource to bring people in. But I think the tag in it is it's not very useful when it comes to creating conversation and discussing and communication. It's a huge lack. I love Meetup. It has really brought 75 people, not to say that 75 members come in one setting. Like I said before, the lack of involvement per meetup is low. I've been thinking and contemplating ideas and how to create more of a platform where it's easier to communicate online, and that way people are engaged not only in the meetups but on the internet, and how we can stay with that fluid communication. I think that's important. Develop some kind of website or something to have a flow of communication that's user-friendly and easy to access for members who are involved. Did that kind of... Yes, sir.
Comment. There's a few women's professional organizations. Have you looked into speaking at those? There's NAVO, North American Women's Business Owners Association.
No.
They
Okay.
50 to 70 ladies a month. You might want to look, and I can connect you with those people if you want.
Fantastic.
So you might want to look at maybe speaking and sharing your mission at those groups.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it. Yes, sir.
And also, I was wondering if you had talked with any of the radio stations like KOB. They've got a deal on Friday afternoons where you can plug your small business. And I believe there's some shows on the weekends where you can get out to a broader audience and then draw them into your...
That's awesome. Actually, good point. I was interviewed on the Morning Brew. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Yeah, he was my interviewer guy, and he was fantastic. And I was actually, it was a collaborative interview or presentation similar to this, where I was able to kind of address my Working Women Ascension Mexico group along with my business. And so yes, I have, but that was, gosh, that was in January. So it might be time to do it again. I don't know.
A recurring thing I'm hearing is get the word out, maybe needing help. I mean,
Absolutely.
some of those cool members as
Exactly.
leaders alongside
Right.
you. There's
Right.
definitely a thread there. Time for a couple, 3 more questions or ideas?
Yes, sir.
Are you posting information on your meetup site that your 75 members find useful? The reason I ask that is I'm a member of a hiking meetup, and there's constantly people posting hikes coming up, and so I get a lot of emails. And if you're not posting things that are useful to your members, I'm thinking, Nancy, you're missing the boat.
Okay.
If all you do is post the next meeting, that's not enough.
It's not enough. Okay. Okay.
And this goes back to the engaging on social media, Facebook, so.
Okay. Yeah, and I think being connected and have a round connection, utilizing all the social media and trying to promote it would definitely be something I need to pay more attention to for sure. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anything else? Yes, sir.
I recommend, in terms of your Facebook stuff, make it a group project.
Oh, thank you for the help, ladies. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of your members are going to have, ooh, I found a really cool thing.
Right.
And I'd like to share it with somebody, and it may not be even directly related to your group, but at least you then have
Right.
content possibly
Right.
going to your business.
And I think that's a great point, is having it in a group project or having someone kind of, you know, not take over, but, you know, control a certain, like, social media. I don't have time during, as my business is doing well, but as I'm in a project, organizing project, I don't have time to, like, hey, stop, I gotta go over here and da-da-da, you know? So it would be great. Yes, sorry, I'll get to, yes.
One of the things that I believe it was Stacy Sacco mentioned, hiring an intern from like high school.
Oh, fantastic idea. Okay. And that would give them hopefully some good experience. Absolutely.
Just a really quick tip going back to Facebook, you can assign administrators on your business page.
Uh-huh.
So if you have some people that you trust and that you maybe think will like that way, you have different contents, but it's really about things that you would like to share or you would be interested in.
Oh, okay.
You can assign administrators on the page, and that way they can go and post to their own anytime. And
See, I love that. And that would be for members who could come and say, hey, I found this event, or I found this link, or whatever.
contact you that way, your members.
Right. Good call. Yes.
I don't think working the social media aspect is something that's going to take away from the time that you're already doing, because it's kind of like that's your marketing as a nonprofit. You've got
Yeah.
social media.
Right.
So because it's basically things you're interested in, you read things on the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Say, oh, this was interesting. Post it on Facebook. Put it on Twitter. That's how you build that content, because the stuff that you find interesting is people that in your group will probably find interesting too. So don't think of it as dedicated, now I have to sit down and do social media. Just while you're surfing the internet and see something interesting,
Post it. Yes, as a
the social aspect.
organizing mind, it's hard to just live sometimes. Good call.
Last
Good call.
question.
Thank you.
Tons more to say, but last question is, what is the number one thing we, as this community, listening to you, excited about what you're doing, wanting to help you, what is the number one thing that we can do for House Nanny and for working women of Central New Mexico?
Oh, fantastic question. I don't know, just listening and keeping your ears and eyes open for women who may need an outlet to provide for their needs. You know, the goal here is to create an educational platform for professional women who could come in and find beneficial resources to develop whatever they're into, their businesses. And for House Nanny as well, like sometimes juggling both of these, my business, personal business, kind of goes on the wayside because I'm like a one-minded track person. I'm like, okay, got to focus on this, and then what about my business? You know, so I have to also, like, if you guys know of anyone or who needs a professional organizer or just want to get coffee and talk about what you're dealing with, I do free consultations all the time. And if you're dealing with a home space that is just out of control and you're like, I don't even know what to do, call me up. We could talk. I mean, I'm pretty just laid back type of a person. We don't have to have a meeting and have to sit down and be all weird. It could be kind of, relaxed. And so call me up if you have any needs that I can, offer you. And that would be fantastic. So yeah, and spread the word. That would be awesome. So thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Just ask that simple, like, what's your vision question, and there's no lack of it. And the heart she has for what she's doing and how it affects the lives of kids especially really struck a chord in me. So I'm really excited to introduce her to you and for us as a community to really come alongside her in her vision. So give a warm round of welcome to Connie Ellsbury.
Thank you, TJ. I am about energy that is positive and contagious. I am about freedom and colors and feelings and fun. I twirl and swing and stomp and giggle. I'm about building children up and telling them stories and letting them create their own and share them with me. I believe in our youth, and I'm blessed to learn along with them. I say yes and rarely no. I am into dance. I dare not judge you. See, there are no two of us who will see or hear or understand one word the same way. But when positive energy sparks creativity, the messenger sends out beauty, and in each and every earth angel, the dancers, the movers, the shakers, the bodies filled and overflowing with that energy is magic and has no boundary or limit to what it can carry across and through any barrier. The light in a child's eyes, a smile, a hug, yes, this is the bounty of a job well done. I am into dance, and my prize is daily won, not in what I take, but in who takes me along with them. I'm Connie Ellsbury. I have Into Dance Company in Los Lunas. 3 years ago, I made a career change, complete and total, and I decided to follow my passion. Those things that came to me when I fell asleep at night, and they were still with me when I woke up in the morning. Those things that made me excited and I could do for 18, 20 hours a day when needed. So I started Into Dance Company. Into dance. I don't know, dance studio, okay, whatever. No, it's something much different. Intertwined Interpretive Dance Company is about impacting children's lives early on and improving therewith it our community, our country, and our world. Today, in our public education systems, even our private schools, so much of the arts have been taken away. I'm here to change that. So, in a dream, it came to me, and for the last 3 years I've been building what is a teaching curriculum that floods children's senses and allows them to interpret the written material into kinesthetic response. So, whether it be a child who's a visual learner, processes better through auditory stimulation, or through kinesthetic expression, each child that I work with, and right now, and that's why I'm here today, because on a weekly basis, I'm seeing about 1,000 children, and I need help. This works. It works. And so let me go one step farther and explain it. It's very simple. Kids come into this studio, or I go to the daycare, or I go to the school or the special education classroom, or to the residential treatment center. Boys, girls, doesn't matter. We start with a story, and I project that story onto the wall. And they sit, and they listen. After they absorb the story that way, we stand up, and I take a piece of music that I feel correlates to the story, and we retell the story through dance. Then we go one step farther, and I have an entire wall of props, and they can become any one of those characters, or they can all be Cinderella, or they can all be the Toad, and I'll play all the other characters. It doesn't matter. And we retell the story one more time. So in the course of a month, we stay on that one piece of written literature, and the magic is, at the end of that month, they can read the story, word for word, with comprehension of what that story is. It's magic. I'm not the only one doing it, but I don't exclude anyone from the space that I'm in. So whether it's ADHD or early diagnosed schizophrenia, or someone in a wheelchair, or a little girl who can't fit into a leotard, she's welcome to be there. The boys, the studio, we take our show on the road. So yes, we do have a studio in Los Lunas. We go out into the community, and we do get on stage once a year. But in just sheer numbers, what I'm facing and what I feel like I have to share at this point is at first I just wanted to try it and see if it worked, because I knew pretty quick it was either going to be a yes or a no, and I didn't want to be a traditional dance studio. That's why we're a company, because a company can encompass whoever wants to participate and whoever wants to play the part. We sing, we move, and what I really want to share with you is that I want to grow. I want to be able to share this with people. I don't know, so my dream is to share and teach the Into Dance curriculum, as I'm seeing it's working, with children in the United States and around the world. And I want to break down that barrier of what has always been known to individuals, that a dance studio at some point is going to cut you or eliminate you or tell you you don't have the right genetics, like I was told when I was 11. I just didn't have it because my body wasn't the way it was supposed to be. Never stopped my love of dance. So what I'm asking for are suggestions as far as, do I need to move forward with this as a book? Do I need to create this as a teaching curriculum and take this into schools and private schools? Or do I franchise and take Into Dance Company studios out into the community to where parents could bring their children Because my people at UNM, my advisors, my professors, they told me it's all great and fine, but unless you get somebody big behind you, you're going to have a hard time getting that stuff documented. So it's kind of, I hear what you're, no, I totally hear what you're saying.
You know that's a need right now. I'm not
Right,
sure
it's a need.
who that person is or where you could go to find them, kind of thing.
Exactly, because I think you could probably find a way to chart and document that progress.
Yeah.
And it might be just as easy as keeping track of them and calling them parents.
Right.
Time for one more question. Somebody hasn't been able to ask her or something. Yeah.
I heard that TJ was going to do an example of the game.
I was just going to bring him up for the finale here. So are you willing? Are you willing to do something with me? Or you want to do something with me?
Jazz?
Okay. I heard he was in show choir. So here we go. I'll give you just a little taste. You ready?
Yeah, break out something. I don't know. Anything.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
We both know that love is what you make it. I want you all or nothing at all. 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 We won't stop till we get all or nothing at all. We won't stop till we get it right. Yes, and I know better. I want it all or nothing at all.
Thank you. Give her one more round of applause, everybody. That's awesome.